you, baby. Lay down. Lay down. Did you see that? Okay. Stop. Lay down. Hello, world. I sounded like the girl from, what's it called? 5 Feet Apart. Catch the reference. Anyway, so yeah, hey guys. Hey guys, it's me, the eating disorder girl. Well, I hope you don't know me as that. I hope you know me as Sarah. But what is my dog doing? Get out of the closet. Toby. But anyway, today's video is about something that I have kind of shied away from talking about, because even though I've made really strong efforts to be really vocal about what I struggle with in regards to my eating disorder, there's something that I have rarely, if ever, talked about publicly. And I think that's just because even though eating disorders are so shameful and so hidden and so, you know, just something we don't want to talk about, something that rivals even that is the topic of self-harm. So I'm just going to put this out here as a potential trigger warning. If I mean, I don't know what you can handle. You know what you can handle and what you can't handle. But if talking about self-harm is going to trigger you or bother you, then I suggest clicking off of this video and catching up with me next time. And otherwise, if you're here to hang out, I just wanted to talk a little bit about self-harm, because it's something that, as far as I'm aware of, not many people talk about. So let's get into it. I can't speak for everybody, and I know I'm always saying that, but that's because it's true. I can't speak for everybody because everybody's experience is going to be different. I can speak for mine, and I can also give you guys some statistics that I found, but that's pretty much all I can do. But I really want to bring this topic to the light because Ephesians 5:13, I think it's Ephesians 5:13, says that everything that is brought to the light becomes a light. And I don't want this to be something that stays in the darkness and has power over me, or has power over you. And so I just want to let you know, of course, as always, you're not alone. And yeah, so let's get into it. So the first thing that I wanted to say is that about 17%, I didn't come up with these statistics, obviously. I didn't do this research. I just found it on the internet. So discretion, I don't know where they come up with the idea of about 17%. But anyway, about 17% of people, I'm assuming it was saying in the United States, will struggle with self-harm at some point in their lifetime. But that feels like, you know, a pretty good amount, almost 20%. Yeah, and most people who do self-harm start self-harming by the age of 13. Now for me, I was 14 when it started, but sorry, my dog he's chill. Okay, I was 14 when I started self-harming, but you know, they say the average age, so around 13, 14, 15, around there, which, you know, when you think about it, kind of makes sense because your hormones are starting to change, and that's a topic for another day. But yeah, so then sorry, I just made myself laugh. Now see, this one seems good. 50% of people who self-harm seek help, and so that's like half. That's good. But it also said that they might only seek help from friends and not from a professional, which I still think is pretty decent. I mean, I'm always gonna advocate that you see a mental health professional if you're struggling with any mental health issue, but talking, as long as you're, you know, talking about it to someone that you trust, who you think can help you, I think that's a great thing. I mean, I'd love to see that number increase from 50% to 60% in, I don't know, but I think that's a really really cool thing. Yeah, and 30% of people who self-harm use cutting as their preferred method. I would argue that this is probably one of the more popular ways to self-harm because it is the easiest method to gain access to. Obviously you just need something sharp, and there's a lot of sharp things in the world. I'm not going to give you any ideas, but I'm just saying, I know that if you're a 13-year-old kid, you might not have access to some of the other ways that people self-harm. So, but you probably have access to something sharp, and that's probably why that's one of the more popular ways. But, so anyway, moving on about my struggle specifically with self-harm and things that you probably didn't know about it. Well, you definitely didn't know about it because I've never talked about it before, but I mean, yeah. Disclaimer again, I will never say that I speak for everybody because I just can't. And in this instance, I won't even say that I speak for anybody other than myself, because there are very, very, very few people that I know personally that have opened up to me about their struggle with self-harm. So I can't, and it's been different than my own struggle. So I can only tell you from my personal experience. But anyway, yeah, so my self-harm experience was a product of my depression, and you might think that's pretty obvious, yeah, depressed people self-harm, but depression is not the only mental illness that people self-harm with. There's a lot of them. It's probably the most obvious one out there just because it makes sense, but it's the one that had to do with me, so it's the one that I'm going to talk about. And I've never really talked about my depression. I should probably make a video about that, but anyway, I'm getting off topic. Stay on topic, Sarah. Okay, so yeah, so I started self-harming when I was 14, and that was because that's when everything with my eating disorder really got not got started, but kind of ramped up, and I became really depressed. And I know that from things that I've read and groups, help groups that I've been in and therapy groups that I've been in, that people will say that they're addicted to self-harm. And I don't know what that's like, because for me, I'm not addicted to self-harm. It's something that I can either do or not do. I struggle with it more at more intense periods of depression in my life. It kind of ebbs and flows. There'll be times in my life when I struggle with it a lot, and there'll be times in my life when I don't really struggle with it, even a little bit or at all. And so I've never been addicted, so I can't speak to that. But I will just speak to my own experience. So why do people, i.e. Sarah, self-harm? I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you. I hate feelings. Emotions, not my jam. If I could turn off every single feeling in my body forever and be a robot, I would. I've always been the type of kid, growing up, since I was little, that feels things very, very strongly. Doesn't matter if it's happy, doesn't matter if it's sad, doesn't matter if it's angry, I feel very, very strongly. And so when something hurts me, it hurts a lot. And unfortunately, I am also the type of person that internalizes those feelings. So that has gotten me into so much trouble over the years, and as a product of that, we have my struggle with self-harm. The reason that I turned to self-harm was a way to cope with my feelings that I just stated that I don't want to feel. And I just wanted to be numb. It was something that when I did it, it was like turning a dial from completely overwhelmed to feeling nothing. It was like a switch. It was like this is crazy. Like, when I discovered that I could not feel, it was amazing and it was satisfying. And so, of course, like, I understand why people could become addicted to that, because it's really satisfying to be able to escape from your feelings. And I think that's the same way that, you know, people who struggle with drugs and alcohol, they want to escape from something in their mind. And if you could turn something off and just not feel it and just not deal with it and just push it away, I think that's just the human thing to do. I think that's what we all want to do. We want the bad feeling to go away. And for me, that's why I self-harmed, because when I would engage in doing that, I would feel nothing. And I will say this: I will take physical pain over emotional distress any freaking day of the week, because I think that I'm not that old, okay? Like, I'm 20. I've been through a lot of emotional distress in my life, my short life, and I've been through a lot of what I would just call my own personal hell. So physical pain kind of, it just doesn't feel like that bad to me, I guess, in relation to that. And that's why I think that I've struggled with it for so many years. I don't know if this is helpful or not. It's kind of just me talking, getting some things out into the light. It's not something that I've conquered at this point in my life. It's something, like I said, that kind of ebbs and flows, and sometimes I struggle with it, sometimes I don't. But I just wanted to make this video to let you know that if you do struggle with it, if you're currently struggling with it, you're not alone. Because about 17% of other people are just like you, and we're here with you, and we understand you. And so please, please, please reach out, if not to me, then to somebody. And shout out to the 50% of us who have reached out. I think that number, if it's true, I think that number is just really, really amazing. And I hope that you keep fighting, and I hope that you find some healthy ways to deal with what you're dealing with. Go to therapy. I'm always gonna hype up therapy. Go to therapy. Pay somebody to sit down and literally have to listen to you. It's the best thing ever. And I'm gonna shut up now because I'm rambling, but I'll see you guys in the next video. I know it's been a hot minute. I'm trying not to make it a hot minute all the time. Maybe a cold minute. Okay, I will talk to you guys soon.